Okay, all you pack rats, I see you. You can't hide from me. I know Marie Kondo did not get to all of you. So, I know you have a pile of treasured things somewhere. A pile of things that you have been saving for a rainy day. Well, my friends, it is pouring outside, and we're going to make a book today. We're going to make a PACKRAT book. So let's talk about what we can do with our pile of treasures that we've been saving, something that we have squirreled away. Oh, I'm not going to use that. That's the last of its kind. It's the last paper out of that pack. I'm going to save it for something special. Today is that day. You are going to make something special today. At least you're going to start on it. Are you ready? Are you with me? Awesome. Let's make a book. No, Marie Kondo, we are not throwing it away. We're going to make a book. All right, kids. I know you have stuff around. You're thinking about it as we speak. I know you are. So please start thinking about things that you can use. It can be sketchbook paper. It can be a ream of typing paper. It doesn't even matter. It can be tea stained, it can be plain, it can be construction paper, it can be scrapbook paper, it could be like this pile, and it's kind of a little bit of everything. Literally everything. Which makes for a great PACKRAT journal. We can put all those things together and make something incredible out of a pile of stuff that a lot of people would probably throw away. Marie Kondo would have said, you throw that away. But it brings me joy. I don't care. That is a pile of trash, you throw it away. So you need to grab some paper, but what we need to think about is the size of book that you're going to be making. I happen to have these book covers that were on you can barely see it, but it's the Webster's Shorter School Dictionary is what that says. I mean, look at that patina. Look at the patina. So if you have an old book or some old book covers that are going to be going into the bin anyway, or maybe it's a book that you loved but it's falling apart and you really want to save the covers for save the memories, man, but you want to be able to utilize it. Maybe you don't have any book covers. Well, go get yourself some notebook covers. You could cover some chipboard and some paper, whatever kind of paper you want. It could even be collage dictionary paper all over. Surround it all. You can make whatever size you want. This is a piece of textile here, just a scrap piece of, this is some kind of an upholstery fabric. It's fairly hefty. I wouldn't get anything that's too thin because it's not going to have the structure that you need. But yeah, because we're not using the spine because there is no spine. So we're going to be creating our own. So get something with a little bit of heft to it. And usually that is going to be some kind of upholstery fabric, or denim is even decent. There's all kinds of things you can use, but something about this weight. And you'll need a needle and thread. Try to get a fairly good size needle and your pile of paper. What I thought I would do is go ahead and fold up a bunch of paper to make some signatures. You can put as many pieces of paper folded together into a signature as you want. You can go anywhere from 3 to 10 to 15 depending on what you want to do. It doesn't really matter that much. When I make signatures, it depends on the weight of the paper, usually, as to how many pages go per signature. I'm not going to make like a spine that's 5 inches wide or anything, so I'll try to rein it in. I'm going to rein it in. So just one little tidbit before I start folding this paper, which I will speed up because that would be painful to have to watch that. To calculate how big your pages need to be, if you do have book covers, this the size of the board right here is a fairly good indication. You would just want to subtract about 3 millimeters off of the top, the bottom, and the foredge. And then that will give you pretty much the size of paper you'll need folded. So it'll be twice that size, of course, but folded it should be about that size, just to make it easy. I do suggest though that you watch the whole video before you start. Maybe something might change. Maybe you'll have an epiphany, or you're like, oh, I glad I didn't do that, because then blah, blah, blah would happen. So anyway, so I say go get all your stuff, but maybe watch the video first and then go get your stuff. All right, I have got about, I think there's 9 signatures here folded together, and the maximum size of the pages will be that size that I referenced before about measuring the book board that's underneath the cover. And there are other sizes in there, of course, but my maximum size would be that size. So what I need to do is kind of figure out how wide of a spine I want. So depending on what you want to do with your book, you may or may not want to leave extra elbow room between the pages. And what does that mean? Well, if you look at a regular book, let me grab one. So if you look at a regular book, do you see how all the pages are just all squeezed close together? Everything's jammed close. That's what you do in traditional book binding. You make sure that all the folds of the signatures are tightly bound together. Now this is a problem for people who like to art journal or use their journals for any kind of memory keeping other than just writing, of course, because sooner or later, if you don't leave some room in between your signatures when you bind them in, you're going to have this tight, tight, tight binding, and then you're going to have all this stuff shoved in here, maybe photographs, maybe concert tickets, maybe you do collage, whatever, and you're just going to have this huge jam-packed shoved book. The spine is going to be really tight, and you're going to have this big old alligator mouth that's happening, which some people don't mind. It bugs me to all get out because, sorry, I don't think they look bad. It's just I could never use one that's all shoved like that. It's kind of like when I put on a turtleneck and I'm like, get it off, get it off. I just can't stand it. It's suffocating. I like to leave a little bit of room so that I don't feel quite so confined. I want to have some space to spread out, man. I could, if I wanted to really squeeze all these together, I could probably get it into just over ½ an inch if I really squoze. But we're gonna leave some room, and I'm gonna do more like an inch. I'm gonna leave about an inch for the spine instead of shoving everything together. Okay. Because I want to leave room. I don't know what this book is going to be for. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm going to leave some room just in case. What I'm going to do now is I want to find a spot on the fabric, and obviously it's got to be this right here, right? In the middle of the spine. And let me show you what I did. I think this is the front cover. Yeah, this is the front cover. So what I did was, see this extra fabric that's hanging over the spine? This is the spine side. I glued that down. So I glued all that down and folded that over so that it was a nice, neat edge. As I show you this degraded, dilapidated cover, such a nice, neat edge, right? Oxymoron of the day. But I just didn't want the book board showing, so I just glued that over. It's not necessary, I just did it. And I'm gonna do it to this one too, just because I wanna, but I'm not your mom. So you can do whatever you like. You do you, man. You do you. Because everything is relative as far as art goes, as far as even practicality. So I'm gonna leave a little bit of room because for me, that will be practical to leave some room in there, because who knows? Maybe I'm going to give this book away. Maybe I'll save it for like a bulk book sale. I don't know yet. I haven't really thought about it. So that is practical to me. What is practical to somebody else might be, oh, that is not enough room. I need to leave more room, which is cool too. And then somebody else is like, I'm just writing in it. I don't want flippity floppity pages all over the place. So you decide. You decide what is practical for you. But other than that, no preconceived notions, no planning, because this is a PACKRAT book. There is absolutely no stress involved. You are not allowed to stress. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave about an inch for my actual pages to be sewn to, okay? And then I'm going to leave a little gap on either side so that the covers have range for free motion. So let's say, that's about an inch plus. Let's leave typically a 1/4 inch on either side, so that is an 1.5 inch gap. How's that sound? Does that sound like a plan? Put this in the middle where I'm going to want my spine to be, and then I can place these on either side. So that's the plan. You can do any kind of binding you like. You can do a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. You can do like an in and out running stitch. You can even do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. What I'm going to do is a running stitch of sorts, because I'm going to leave some stitches so that you can see them in the spine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make holes in my signatures. So I get a piece of paper that is about the same height as the tallest papers. And I fold that in half lengthwise. Where the fold is, I'm going to come in a 1/2 inch from either side, and then another 1/2 inch from either side. And then I'm just going to kind of split the difference and do 2 toward the middle. So I will end up with, I'm going to mark a T for top, just in case they're a little bit off. I don't want to get one signature upside down next to another one and do the holes upside down and then have it a little wonky. Now I'm going to poke holes where I made those marks. And then I will grab my punching cradle, which sounds awful. Just sounds horrible. Punching cradle. Like anything with punching and cradles should be together in the same phrase. It just sounds wrong. So I'm going to punch holes in all 9 signatures, and you don't have to do 9 signatures. You can do 3 signatures with the same amount of papers. Just shove them all in 3 instead of 9. I think there are about 6 papers per signature. So 6 times 9 is 54 maybe? That sound right? I don't sound sure of myself there. You could definitely have 5 signatures, or you could have 6 signatures with 9 pages in each one. That part doesn't matter. What you'll do is you'll just separate your signatures a little bit more. You'll use that same, I'm going to have just an inch, so I'm going to shove 9 signatures in an inch. Well, you'd have to space out, if you did 6, you'd have to space out 6 a little bit more. You'd have to give a little bit more room. But you would need more room because they would have more pages in each one. It won't matter either way. I know you guys can do it. I know you can I know some of you can do it with your eyes closed, your hands tied behind your back. If you don't have a punching cradle, which you don't have to have one, pretend this is a phone book. You could lay a phone book down and put your signature in there, and then you put your punching template, and then you punch holes. It helps keep your signatures folded and the holes in the fold.